Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Winchester police say social media helped them catch a man accused of scamming local restaurants.
6 months later, still few leads. Once again, police are asking for help as they try to solve the murders of a Central Kentucky mother and her teenage daughter.
And an American video journalist who contracted the Ebola virus in Africa will soon be released from the hospital. Those stories and more, and breaking news as it happens. It's coming up on WKYT This Morning. Good morning to you and welcome in. Good to have you with us on this Wednesday. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. For the first track on the weather, let's turn to meteorologist Micah Harris.
Well, the first track is a good track. We're looking outside. It's kind of chilly, no doubt about it. But at least we're staying dry, and we do have some clouds overhead. But once you wake up here in the morning and walk outside, once that sun rises, I should say, it won't be all that bad. It'll be cool, though. 41 now in Richmond. We're sitting at 41 as you look toward the Mount Sterling area. 44 there, double one of those, little twins there in Frankfort and also Lexington. And as we go into the afternoon, there you are, right there in the mid-50s. Once again, a cool one. We'll have the mixture of sun and clouds. And then we'll start to see much improved weather as we head throughout the week. I'll really show you that coming up in your 7-day forecast in about 10 minutes.
All right, Michael, we'll see you then. We thank you, and let's get to the news. He claimed that he would use the money for mentally challenged people, but Winchester police say a man was lying.
They say he used checks to scam 2 restaurants out of hundreds of dollars. Police said Facebook helped them crack the case. WKYT's Jordan Valines has more.
These days, it seems like some people will do just about anything to scam someone out of a quick buck. Recently, in the small town of Winchester, police say they caught a man doing just that.
The cover story that he gave is one that people will be sympathetic to.
30-year-old Jared Cooper is accused of going into local restaurants, claiming to work with mentally handicapped people and asking employees for a favor.
He has taken a check in there to the workers inside the restaurant, asked to cash it so that he can give the people in his party money so that they can come back and pay for their food.
After getting the cash, police say Cooper would make up an excuse to get the check back and then take off. About a month after the first incident, police say that Cooper pulled the same stunt right down the road here at Sir Pizza. But on Tuesday, police caught up with him thanks to surveillance video and social media.
We posted the screenshots from the video at Sir Pizza on our Facebook page, and we had several tips probably within the first 15 minutes.
Police caught the alleged scammer this time, but that's not always the case, which is why officials urge you to always make sure a person really is who they are portraying themselves to be. In Winchester, Jordan Valines, WKYT.
And Winchester police charged Jared Cooper with 2 counts of theft by deception.
New this morning, police are searching for a group of men who robbed a woman at gunpoint.
It happened about 11:30 last night outside a home on Honey J Court. Police say a woman was sitting in her car and a man was standing next to it. That's when 4 men wearing bandanas and armed with handguns ran up to her car and robbed her. They took some cash and the woman's car keys before leaving in their vehicle. No one was injured.
Also new this morning, a Lexington police officer shot and killed a dog after it attacked him while he was on a call. The officer was responding to a domestic fight at the home on Whitney Avenue around midnight. When he arrived on the scene, police say a German Shepherd ran out of the home and charged at him. After several attempts to get the dog away, the dog bit the officer's leg. That's when the police say the officer shot and killed the dog. No charges are being filed against the dog's owners. It has been 6 months since someone murdered a Bardstown teacher and her daughter inside their home, and police are still looking for the killer.
Now the home where the murders happened is up for sale, and police say they still have a lot of questions, as do folks who live nearby. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has the update in the investigation.
Who would do such a thing? I mean, they have to be a very angry person.
It's the same question police have asked since April. That's when Kathy Netherland, a special education teacher, and her teenage daughter Samantha were found dead inside their home.
Anytime somebody goes in a home and kills a mother and a daughter that really at this point we found no motive for the killing, you have to think that there's some kind of personal rage.
Investigators won't release the cause of death, but they say these were violent murders. The house, no longer a crime scene, is now for sale. Signs for an open house at the site of a murder case difficult to close.
There's people still apprehensive about the cause of it and, what's going on. Innocent lives taken for why?
Answering that question, the motive, has proven to be a problem in the case. So has identifying this car, a black Chevy Impala seen on surveillance video driving away from the area not long after the murders. 6 months later, troopers continue to search for the car and the killer.
We're still plugging along, and we're hopeful and confident that we're going to bring these to a conclusion. We just don't know exactly the timetable on that.
Investigators have sent a lot of evidence to the State Police Crime Lab for testing. Police tell us nearly all of those tests have come back, but they will not reveal the results. State Police say at this point, any small piece of information someone may have, even if it doesn't seem relevant, could be the key to cracking the case. Well, an American video journalist who contracted the Ebola virus in Africa is expected to leave the hospital today.
The Nebraska Medical Center says Osoka Mopo's blood now tests negative for the virus, so he will be allowed to leave a biocontainment unit. In a statement, he said recovering from Ebola is, quote, a truly humbling feeling. Mufko contracted Ebola in Liberia while working as a freelance photographer for NBC. He also says he is still not exactly sure how he caught the virus.
Investigators now say a man has confessed to killing 7 women whose bodies were found in northwestern Indiana. Police have already charged Darren Vann for a murder last Friday in Hammond. And Gary, Indiana police say they have enough evidence to charge him with 3 murders there. Many of the bodies were found in abandoned buildings around Gary. A Kentucky man on death row for killing 6 people wants the U.S. Supreme Court to reopen his case. Robert Foley has filed a petition asking his conviction and death sentence be overturned. He's challenging his trial attorney's handling of ballistics evidence and potential expert testimony. The U.S. Sixth Court of Appeals denied Foley's petition earlier this year. He was convicted of killing 6 people in Madison and Laurel counties more than 20 years ago.
Now 4:37 on WKYT this morning, and former President Bill Clinton returned to Kentucky to campaign for Senate candidate Allison Lundergan Grimes. The two appeared together yesterday at rallies in Owensboro and in Paducah. President Clinton asked voters not to take out their anger at President Obama on Grimes. He also said incumbent Senator Mitch McConnell has been in Washington long enough.
When it's all said and done, there's only 3 things that matters. Are people better off when you quit than when you started? The children have a brighter future, and are things coming together instead of being torn apart? If those are the 3 tests, the answer is Allison.
This was the 3rd time that President Clinton came to Kentucky to campaign for Grimes. Meanwhile, Senator Mitch McConnell continued a bus tour through eastern Kentucky yesterday. He made stops in Magoffin, Johnson, Floyd, Martin, and Lawrence counties. Senator McConnell stressed the importance of saving jobs in the coal industry, and he says Kentuckians have a big opportunity on Election Day.
At the end, people who don't vote don't have an impact on policy, and I believe that there are a majority of Kentuckians who would like to see me become the majority leader of the Senate, and we're spending the last 2 weeks making sure they all vote.
Senator McConnell's bus tour will make stops in northeastern Kentucky today.